On Saturday afternoon, Austin FC will play LA Galaxy for the ninth time in club history. The last time these two teams played against each other was on October 2024 as Austin FC lost to LA Galaxy in a 2-1 score, with Sebastian Driussi scoring the only goal for Austin FC. Fast forward to 2025, and it's a whole different year for both clubs. For LA Galaxy, they're the current MLS champions. They sit last place in the Western Conference, sitting 15th place with no wins, 3 draws, and only 5 losses, and they were knocked down in the 2025 CCL, or the CONCACAF Champions Cup, losing to Tigres in a 3-2 score in the quarterfinals. So it's been a rough start for the MLS champions, which is LA Galaxy. But now let's talk about us, Austin FC. Austin FC sits 6th place in the Western Conference. A pretty decent spot for the Verde and Black. Pretty good start as well for Nico Estevez in his first year for Austin FC. What would I say about the loss to the Whitecaps and that 5-1 loss? I would say really disappointed, but this loss is basically on Nico Estevez and the entire players. We got outplayed against the best team in the Western Conference, that was Vancouver Whitecaps. I did hear a lot of people saying that the 5-1 loss to Vancouver is the worst loss in club history. That's an exaggeration for me, because the worst loss for me will always be the loss to Violet in the 2023 CCL. I would say this is the worst loss for Nico Estevez in his first year as Austin FC head coach. That's a fair thing to say. We have basically got to get a must win against LA Galaxy, because after last week losing really badly to Vancouver Whitecaps, this is pretty much a must win for us. Austin FC and LA Galaxy, they play 8 times. The most wins goes to LA Galaxy with 5 wins, and Austin FC only has 2 wins. Both of those wins for Austin FC were at Q2, basically home wins. One in 2021 and the other last season in 2024. Both of the same result, 2-0. 2021, Moussa Djitté and Mackenzie Gaines scored the first goals with Austin FC in that game against LA Galaxy. Last season in 2024, after 3 years, 2.5 years you could say, what was considered a Wolf Ball masterclass performance, Diego Rubio and Halobrian scored the 2 goals for Austin FC as they won the match 2-0. And that game was basically important for us because we beat the best team in the Western Conference, who was sitting first place, LA Galaxy. We pretty much know what it's like to play against LA Galaxy, and we always put up a good fight against the Carson team. Austin FC needs to take advantage of the defense of LA Galaxy, because LA Galaxy has allowed 15 goals in all MLS games, in all 8 games. Their best player in the backline, who's the voice of the team, Maya Yoshida, is out due to injury, and Zanka, who played against Houston Dynamo, got a red card, so now their backline is kind of in shambles. This is a game where our front 3, Bukari, Uzuni, and Brandon Vasquez, have to break the glass and score goals to register more to their Austin FC accounts. The thing too is this. Their midfield for LA Galaxy is non-existent. They basically play box-to-box, defend the attack, and their only best player is Dale Fagundes, who can play in the 10, or when they need him, play on the wings. Their best player in the midfield, basically Ricky Puig, is still out due to injury and won't be coming back until August or September for this 2025 season. So it's basically take advantage of the midfield and on the defense. And who's the player who can do that for us? Ousmane Bukari. You have to use Ousmane Bukari right, because what's the point of bringing in a DP who's just going to stay in the back and defend? We didn't bring him to do that. We brought Bukari to score goals for us or assist the leaks, or sneak in those open spaces in the midfield, and that's what Nico Estevez has to do. The idea is that Nico Estevez has to stop justifying the fact about Vasquez and Uzuni's price tag and leaving out Bukari in the game plan. You have to use 3 of them right. But this is the game where I see our front 3, the $30 million DPs of Uzuni, Bukari, and Brandon Vasquez, to break the glass and just get something out of it, get the goals that we need for this club. LA Galaxy have scored 6 goals in all games in the MLS. Their best player, Christian Ramirez, who replaces Joveljic, who went to join Sporting Kansas City in the off season, Christian Ramirez have scored 3 goals in all games. He have scored half the goals that LA Galaxy has had this season, which is 6 goals. For LA Galaxy, their 2 wingers, Paintsel and Gabriel Peck, are really like their support. They support the attack and the midfield in way of saying. They are basically going to attack the flanks, and this is a game where both Guilherme Viru and John Gallagher have to focus and get locked in to keep both of them in their pocket. I believe for Paintsel, it's going to be for Gallagher because Paintsel is a really heavy physique guy. And for Gabriel Peck, I would say that Biro might need some help from Owen or from Svakhtov to, 2-against-1 against Gabriel Peck because he's really fast. In the two center backs, here's the thing. Julio Cascante had a really stinker game against the Vancouver Whitecaps. After that game, if I was Nico Estevez, bench him because in that game, your first game back, you've allowed 4 goals in one game. When Svakhtov came on, he was paired up with Heinz Zag. Svakhtov only allowed 1 goal when he was on the field, which was the 5th goal for Vancouver Whitecaps. The thing is that when I see Svakhtov and Heinz Zag, their chemistry, they've already adjusted to each other. That they're mostly aggressive center backs who can just fight for the ball and defend the back line. Because you saw how bad Julio Cascante played. He wasn't mentally nor physically there against Vancouver Whitecaps. So basically our back line, Julio Cascante on the bench, Svakhtov and Heinz Zag start. Our fullbacks, Biro on the left and Rubio and Gallagher on the right side. Our front 4, we have to run the same lineup 4-4-2. Our 4 players in midfield, Stavovic and Danny in the middle, one to support the back and the other to push up. And our 2 wide midfield players has to be Owen and Bukhari, but put Bukhari on the right side because he plays better on that side than he does on the left. And our 2 strikers, it has to be Bukhari, it has to be Uzuni and Brandon Vasquez. So this is basically a must-win for Austin FC. You don't underestimate LA Galaxy. They're a team who can get results against tough opponents, against Minnesota, against Portland, and let's say against Houston Dynamo. Well, what do I expect? What's the result? My score prediction? I'm not good with predictions, but I would say Austin FC gets a 3-1 score. Brandon Vasquez scoring 2 goals and Uzuni scoring 1. Also, Austin FC today on Thursday morning, it was announced that Austin FC would host El Paso Locomotive in the round of 32 of the 2025 U.S. Open Cup. And we play on, I believe, Wednesday, May 7th at 7:30 p.m. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is VanillMexon17, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.